host all night. Give it up for the comics you're going to see up here tonight. We're going to have a ton of fun. These guys, some of the guys are on tour and popping in. And we're just so happy to have them here. We're going to get the show started with a fun local comic that I've known for a long time. Can we give it up for Mr. Kaylan Adams, everyone?
Alrighty. Yes, my last name is Adams. And my first name is Kaylan. And I don't blame you if you imagine you seen that on the resume and assumed that I was a white woman, which is clearly not the case. Like, I feel like my mom set me up to be like a walking oxymoron. And if you can't imagine this, but it can be very awkward for me at interviews if I don't walk in and the first thing that I say is, "You are not being catfished." It can get pretty awkward, but I understand though, because like if you see Kaylan on the resume, you instantly assume a white woman. So I like to tell people I feel like the first black man with white privilege. And Experian does see color because my credit score is black. But I did get it up to 850 one time, but I had to spell my name with 3 Ks. Yeah. So I feel a little not a little ashamed I have to say this, but I actually have my first pap smear next week. Yeah, at my last doctor appointment, they gave me this like paperwork to fill out, and one of the questions had, "Are you on birth control?" And I put yes, the pull-out method. So my doctor is gonna learn the hard way that not all Kaylans have a cervix. But no, I like to lean into it. I get misgendered all the time, but I like to have fun with it. One situation that I always enjoy is when people call my phone and ask to speak to Miss Adams. And my favorite thing to do is to answer and be like, "Hello?" They're like, "Can I speak to Miss Adams?" And I'm just like, "This is her husband speaking. How did you get my wife's number? Are y'all fucking?" And then I'll just hang up. Yeah. But I feel like my mom did it on purpose, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure I could get my foot in the door. But I did have a dad, super great role model in my life, worked very hard, helped put me through college. But I like to joke with him and tell him he didn't work hard enough because I'm still paying my student loans. Yeah, he was just very, very frugal. I remember when I was 12, I asked him, like, "How much would you pay me to wash your car?" And he told me, "I will pay you no attention." Yeah, so as a get back for my 13th birthday, I asked him for a for sale sign, and let's just say he never paid me no attention again. Yeah, I got rid of his car. Oh man. But yeah, I love my dad. I like to tell people that I grew up his best friend, not because he didn't have any. He was just too cheap for a babysitter. Yeah, but he had a lot of confidence in me, though. I remember, like, as a kid, he drove me from my hometown to this Pokémon tournament that was, like, 4 hours away. And I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know why he believed, like, a 14-year-old was actually going to win a Pokémon tournament. I lost the first round. But that's not the worst part. The worst part, because my mom didn't come, the worst part is when we got home, and she asked how we did, and he beat me to the punch. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "The only thing we beat today is traffic." Yeah, it killed my spirit. It killed my spirit. I am actually from South Carolina. I went to USC. Go Gamecocks. Any in the building? Woo! I don't know, I'm getting mixed symbols. Is there one? Clemson fan? Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah, we struggling. We were good back when I was in school, though. But yeah,
We're not now, so.
We rebuilding. But no, I appreciate going to that school though. You guys might not know this, but South Carolina's education system is actually ranked 42nd in the country. Yeah, I like to say our GPAs look like Dollar General prices. And I looked up the stats. There's 3 states that are actually below us. There's there's more than 3, but some that stuck out to me is Hawaii, Yeah. What is the other one? There was Hawaii.
West Virginia.
Mississippi.
No, not Mississippi.
Alabama.
Alabama. And I think it's Alabama because their family trees look like Christmas wreaths. But no, I always like to say to people when I tell them like I'm from South Carolina is no child left behind only applied to fire drills at my school. So I joined the track team to get extra active shooter drill reps. But the funny thing about growing up in the South is sometimes, well, people call it like the Bible Belt and stuff like that. And personally, I feel like sometimes my mom would use it to whoop me. Like her favorite phrase was like, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. And one day I told her, hold on, let me call grandma so we can both go. And she was super religious, super religious. Like I remember she would always tell me like, listen to God, but I'm a super analytical person. So I was like, what does he sound like? Because I thought it was Morgan Freeman for the longest. And that all deaf people were going to hell because they can't hear. Yeah, like it never made sense to me, like at all. Oh man, but no, growing up in the South was it was good. Like I remember, like in college, I was almost a hero, and I say almost because I seen this dude get hit by a car, and everybody get out, and they was like, oh, call 911, call 911. And I said, what is the number? I was super embarrassed. And I was a late bloomer. I didn't get my first kiss until my freshman year. And it was actually with an education major. And 3 seconds in, she told me like, oh, you're doing it wrong. And she proceeded to show me. And afterwards, I whispered in her ear, do not change your major. You are really good at this. I could really see her teaching people in the future. But no. My first job out of school and college was for a nuclear facility, so I actually had to have a security clearance. And most people think there's like 3 levels to security clearances. There's confidential, secret, and top secret, but there's actually a 4th one. For black people, it's called Alicia Keys. But for white people, it's Martha Stewart. You guys get it? But no, my second job, it was actually here in Charlotte. It's the first time when I moved. I moved here in like 2017. It was designing washers and dryers. And during my time there, I learned powder actually works better than liquid. And same thing applies to drugs, but don't tell them I told you that. And I just recently started a new job, but at my last job, I worked in the wastewater industry. And the inside joke is at the office is we're number 1 in the number 2 business. Yeah, so when I went to networking events and people asked what I did, I told them I keep shit moving. But now I'm in the construction field. I do structural analysis. And so when people ask me what that is, I like to tell them I play Jenga professionally. Like all the buildings that I design and stuff, they're only good for 3 seasons. Spring, summer, winter, because they never fall. There we go. Some of my coworkers are in here. I appreciate y'all for coming out. I do want to talk about dating and relationships for a little bit. One thing that was kind of like a red flag for me that I kind of like looked out for was narcissists, because they always have to have the last word. And I find it funny that God gave them periods. But before we, you know what I'm saying, I know that might be a little gender charged, but the thing is, I feel like God gave men prostates because we can be assholes. Yeah, but we're working on it though. I remember back when I was like on dating apps and stuff, my favorite question was, what are you looking for? And my answer was, I'm looking for my Pikachu. Somebody who will stay by my side, understands I want to catch them all, but at the end of the day, I still choose you. Y'all get it? Sounds a lot better than ethical non-monogamy. I'm not a cheater though. And I remember like one time I had this girl over, and she asked, why do you have a security camera in your house? And I was like, so when girls come over, they have the option to, instead of like just watching the movie, you have the option to make one too. Because I'm pro-choice. And I make a killer Plan B smoothie, by the way. All right, I'm gonna get out on this one. I know it's March, and most people have probably be like giving up on their New Year's resolution, but I'm still working on mine, and I was hoping you guys could help me out. So I'm looking for one volunteer. There we go. You've been voluntold. So my New Year's resolution is to give a white person a black card. Yes. So you have 2 chances. Are you ready? Sure. Okay. Why is it that black people are more likely to get shot when running away from the cops? And you ran out of time. The answer I was looking for is that's the only way they can catch us. You get one more chance though. If you had the opportunity to hang out with Harriet Tubman for a day, where would be the best place to take her? Well, you ran out of time on that one. The answer I was looking for is an escape room. All right, I'm Kaylan Adams. That's my time. Thank you. Thank you. Good seeing you.
One more time for
Good seeing
Kaylan
you.
Adams, everyone.
Thank you for coming out, man.
Shit,
All
my
right,
boy.
thank you. Thank you.
Funny stuff. Trying to work towards that black
Thank
card
you.
and see what happens.